The Avengers eventually defeated Thanos, begging the question of if the same could be said for the MCU's villains. When it comes to alternate timelines of the MCU's Thanos, an intriguing what-if scenario would be to see what would happen if the MCU's villains faced off against Thanos. Looking specifically at the events of Avengers Endgame and beyond, this is an exploration of what would happen if Thanos faced off by the wicked counterparts of the MCU's heroes. In the alternate Marvel Cinematic Universe, the ultimate villain showdown takes place as Loki and other notorious opponents come together to challenge Thanos. This epic battle puts Thanos' might against a coalition of powerful enemies out to stop his genocidal ambitions. Will their combined strength and cunning be enough to defeat the Mad Titan, or will Thanos remain unstoppable despite this formidable alliance? Ironmonger. The natural replacement of Iron Man in this scenario of villains fighting against Thanos would be Ironmonger. Obadiah Stane was utilized as the main villain for Iron Man and possessed a similar suit to Tony Stark's Iron Man. As such, Ironmonger suitably replaces the weaponized aspects of Iron Man in the imagined fight against Thanos. Justin Hammer. One important thing to note about Tony Stark is that his weaponry is only one half of what makes him dangerous. The other is his brains. While Obadiah Stane matches Tony's blunt force power, Justin Hammer could be used to make up for the technological side of Tony's abilities. While Hammer has obviously been portrayed as not as smart as Tony, a battle against Thanos could make Hammer step up to the plate against the Mad Titan, such as creating his own gauntlet like Tony did. Loki. Thor's replacement comes in the form of Loki, specifically before 2012. Loki's powers are different from Thor's, yet both being Norse gods means their power levels are near matched. While Loki slowly became an MCU hero, taking him from before the Avengers ensures he still holds a place in a villainous team. Red Skull. The obvious choice for Captain America would be Red Skull. Aside from the Winter Soldier, Red Skull is the only Captain America villain shown to match Steve Rogers' abilities due to the same super soldier serum being used on both characters. As such, Red Skull can replace Steve Rogers in the envisioned battle of the MCU's villains against Thanos. The Abomination. As with Red Skull, Abomination is the best choice to replace Hulk in the imagined MCU villain roster. Abomination's powers come from the same gamma radiation as Hulk's. This means Abomination can be the main brute strength of the villain team, as Hulk usually is deployed in the MCU. Taskmaster. The most obvious replacement for the dual assassins of Black Widow and Hawkeye is Taskmaster. The nature of Taskmaster's MCU powers means she can easily provide the same abilities as Natasha and Clint. While the sheer power of this imagined team comes from other members, Taskmaster can provide the espionage, assassin-based abilities of core Avengers members. Yellow Jacket. Like Ant-Man, Darren Cross can shrink and grow and possesses the ability to enter the quantum realm. This was vital in the time heist, proving Yellow Jacket as a core member of the what-if villain team to face Thanos. Killmonger. While Black Panther was dusted in Avengers Infinity War, Killmonger would be a great choice to face Thanos. Killmonger's combat expertise and natural-born power of leadership could make him a good tactician for the team. He just so happens to be one of the MCU's most compelling villains too, meaning he would be a fantastic character to follow in this dream scenario. Namor. In a similar vein to Killmonger is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever's Namor. Besides his compelling character, Namor is also incredibly powerful. His strength rivals that of Thor and the Hulk, while his ability to fly gives him a distinct advantage. As such, Namor rounds out the imagined MCU villain team to fight Thanos. So, how it would have changed Avengers Endgame in this what-if scenario? The villains of this team likely would not care about branched realities. One of the moral dilemmas of the Avengers time heist in Endgame was replacing the Infinity Stones from their point in time so as to negate any damage caused to the multiverse. It is safe to assume that these villains would not have the same moral conscience, causing an Avengers Endgame film with much more multiversal chaos. And with that, the question arises of who would have snapped in Hulk and Iron Man's places. As is known from Avengers Endgame, Hulk snapped to bring the rest of humanity back after Thanos' Infinity War snap. It is interesting to think about who would snap in their places and what the consequences of each would be. The first snap is fairly simple, in that Abomination's gamma-based powers would allow him to snap and survive as Hulk did. It is likely Abomination's snap would return all villainous MCU characters to life to combat Thanos, just like Hulk's did with the MCU heroes. The second snap is more interesting as it is hard to imagine any MCU villains sacrificing their lives. However, Killmonger would be a good choice. Killmonger's MCU goals are some of the more sympathetic regarding villains, with only his extremist methods labeling him a villain. Killmonger's fight for his people across the globe outweighed anything else for him, meaning he would be an interesting choice to snap in Iron Man's place. If this happened, Killmonger would likely also wipe out Thanos and his armies. However, Killmonger would likely have an ulterior motive, using the Infinity Gauntlet to free his people around the world from oppression. This would likely result in a chaotic world of the oppressed becoming the oppressors led by Killmonger. So in that case, would the MCU villains have won against Thanos? It is likely that the MCU villains would have defeated Thanos due to their lack of morality. In this scenario, however, the villains would be willing to do whatever it takes to win. As a result, their villainous drive would lead to victory over Thanos in the MCU, but it would most likely result in a chaotic, villain-led world afterwards. Let me know about your opinion on this in the comments section below. Hakuna Matata!